Hi there, hey there, ho there. We're as happy as can be. Another week. Baseball season is over. We're now to the second season.
I can't believe it's over. Yeah.
Bob, Eddie, I'm Julio. Welcome to Three Ball Walk. Today's sponsored by Lemonade,
Sweet tea.
Sweet tea.
Sweet tea.
and Sweet Tea. Notice we have no logos, so if you make or manufacture lemonade, iced tea, Lipton, Publix even has their own house brand. We are looking for it. We're giving. Wouldn't your logo look beautiful right there?
Milo's.
Any.
Yeah, Milo's.
Do they make lemonade? They make lemonade as well. So
Yeah.
look at this. Tremendous opportunity to reach this three-ball audience.
To all seven of them.
Three-ball
Yes,
walk.
all seven.
All seven. That'd be good.
So we're glad
But
you're here.
nationwide.
There's seven scattered.
Yes,
So
nationwide.
tonight, the National League today, the National League Division Series start.
Yep.
Probably be last night by the time this is
We
seen.
got the Cubs and the Braves.
Not the Cubs.
Excuse me. We have the Dodgers and the
Dodgers
Braves
and Braves. Yep.
in the 2 and 3 matchup.
Yep.
We have the Brewers
Yep.
What?
And the Rockies.
And the Rockies.
and the Rockies. And of them, the only team that's rested since Sunday and not had to burn any pitching is your Atlanta Braves.
Braves.
The
Yep.
3 seed, and yet
Yep.
they didn't have to play a play-in game.
Nope. They didn't.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
You had 4 National League teams, all of them with 2 chances to win 1 game to get in.
Yep.
You got 2 chances
It
to
was
win
exciting.
1. The Rockies and the Dodgers and Brewers won the first one, got their 1 win. The Rockies won their second one.
Yep.
The Cubs are the one team that didn't win 1 out of their 2 games to get in.
Yeah, if you're a Cubs fan, it's got to be disappointing because but September 1st you were four games in
Five
front,
games.
5 games in front, and you don't make it to the dance. I mean, it's going to be disappointing if you're a Cubs fan right now.
Right, but okay, so you shouldn't be disappointed. Here's why you shouldn't be disappointed if you're a Cub fan.
Okay.
The Cubs played the last week of the season, right? The last 10 games, they went 6-4. 6-4.
It's pretty good.
6-4 usually gets you in. The problem is Milwaukee went 9-1.
Right. Right.
So it wasn't that
They
the
were
Cubs
amazing.
played badly. Milwaukee just played out of their mind those last 10 games to win and make up the ground.
Do you think?
They won 2 out of 3 over the weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing they could have done better was swept
Right.
the.
And that's what they
the
needed to have
Cardinals.
done, and they
Right.
wouldn't have had.
But here's the other thing. Okay, here's why you should feel bad if you're a Cub fan. If you go back, okay, what did we say at the very beginning? What do I always say about April games?
They matter
They
just
matter.
as much.
They matter just as much. They went 16-10 in April.
Okay, that's good.
17-9, they don't have a playoff game.
True.
In May, they lost ground. They were no longer in first place at the end of May.
Right.
1 game in May. One
game. No, you're absolutely right.
1 game
But
in
here's-
June. 1 game in July.
give you-
1 game in August.
I'll give you here in my opinion is the Cubs breakdown. Okay, something very fascinating. 162 game season.
Right.
In 40 of their 162 games, the Baltimore Orioles, the
as
best
many
team in
runs.
baseball, 40 out of 162,
One
a quarter
quarter.
of their games, they scored 0 or 1 run.
Exactly.
The most in Major League Baseball. That's why
No,
they're
they
the
tied.
worst. No,
They were tied.
They were the worst.
No, they were tied.
The
With-
Cubs?
Yes, they
the
were.
Cubs had 39.
No, they were
because
tied
they-
with Baltimore.
No, the Cubs were not. Baltimore was the worst. The Cubs were second. The Cubs finished with 39 games. Now,
How many did they score on the playoff game?
that's their 40th, but that one's not included as part of the regular season. The one they played against the Brewers was at 39. They actually finished in 162 with 38, but then the 39th one counted, the one they lost 3-1 to the Rockies. So they finished with 39. But can you imagine? The Orioles, I can understand, they're the worst record in baseball. 40 times, 0 or 1 runs.
That's amazing.
The Cubs were 39 games with 0 or 1 run. That's your one problem. And then I started analyzing. They're very much of a swing and miss team. Okay, Baez
And everybody.
swings at not like the Cubs. And then the other part is when you are offensively challenged, and let's say the Cubs are if a quarter of your games you're only scoring 0 or 1 runs, you're offensively challenged. And how many you have 25-man roster,
Yep.
okay? And one of those spots on the roster is being used by that Gore guy who I had never heard of until the game on But
Without
did you
him,
see him?
without him though, they don't tie it up.
Without him, they don't tie it up. With him, maybe they score a run in extra innings. Okay? The guy is one of 4 players in Major League history to have more stolen bases than at-bats.
Right.
Okay? He's basically Herm Washington.
Yep.
Remember?
Herb Washington.
Herb
Yep,
Washington.
yep.
Remember Herb Washington?
Designated runner.
With the A's. Designated runner.
Yep.
When you're not scoring runs, how can you use up a roster spot? Now, yes, he stole second. Yes, he came in and scored the tying run. And he struck out in the 9th, he struck out in the 11th, and he struck out in the 13th. And once with people with potential. Now, yes, you scored the run because you had a guy that was able. You don't think they can find someone that can steal a base that also knows how to hit?
Not that fast. That Joker is fast.
That Joker's
He's
fast.
fast. Yeah.
There ain't nobody else as
But
fast.
do you
as him.
burn a roster spot
Well,
for
Joe
a position?
Madden. All right, you have said on this show numerous times, Joe Madden is the best manager in baseball.
Yep.
Have you not made that statement?
Craig Counsell.
No.
I did say Joe Madden.
Have
I
you not
did.
made it multiple times? Joe Madden is the best manager in baseball.
Craig Counsell is the national
Do you think the
manager.
loss of Addison Russell hurt the Cubs?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, without a doubt.
Huge. It was
I do
huge.
too. I think that's huge. I think that is the defining factor. He probably wouldn't have been on the roster if you have Addison Russell.
Right.
Well, you got by
Big
no.
difference. Big difference if he's there.
And then
Baez is short.
they
now
ended up
they're
moving
losing. By the way, you
Bryant
saw
all
that.
over the place. Bryant
Yeah,
played
yeah,
left
yeah.
field.
40 games, 50 games
40 games.
to start the
If
season.
he's even a Cub, because I can see them getting rid of him. I mean, the way teams are today with and I'm not saying spousal abuse is completely wrong, but I could see them getting rid of him.
I don't know. They'll work him back in. 40 games. He'll do his
40
penance.
games, yeah. So he'll be
And
back.
and he'll be back. I mean, he's too good of a player to let
he's
go
great.
for that.
But that cost them.
That definitely cost them. And I feel for the Cub fans because, all right, Cubs are the best team. No, they weren't. Okay?
No.
I know they weren't. And I told you that a month ago. They weren't the best team. They played well, but they weren't the best
The
team.
best team in the National League goes 9-1 to close out the season.
Milwaukee's scary.
Yeah.
They're just scary.
Well,
And
okay,
Yelich
but
has been out of
They finished the best. They finished the number 1 team in the National League. I
no,
mean,
they
one
finished
thing is
tied, and then they won the extra game.
correct. Well, no, and the extra game is the regular season. They finished the game ahead of Chicago.
No, they didn't.
Yes,
That
it
is a
counted.
regular
that was
season
the
game.
163rd game. It counted.
It's a regular season game?
Yeah.
It's a regular
Counts.
season game. That's why Yelich led the league in hitting. He was 1 home run and 2 RBIs short of the Triple Crown. He had 1 RBI in the game, which counted to his regular season stats. But he came up at the end with the bases. Could have driven in, But you make such a big thing about Miguel Cabrera winning the Triple Crown. Yelich came 1 home run and 1 RBI from the Triple Crown.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's had an
So
incredible year.
Incredible year.
one thing is carrying the team. Another thing is
Yeah.
And the nice thing about it is Milwaukee will write Derek Jeter a nice thank you card at Christmas time because I mean,
Well, Counsell and Jeter,
Yeah.
I mean, the Miami connection there. I'm sure Counsell's got some friends in South Florida. Still got some South Florida guys. that,
Counsell, the interesting, you know what? When Counsell first got traded to us, and obviously I knew a lot. Craig Counsell grew up in Milwaukee. His father was director of community relations for the Milwaukee Brewers.
That's interesting.
He used to sit there and he was telling me he'd play down underneath because it was like a Tinker Toys Stadium,
Right.
an Old County Stadium.
Yeah.
So you got the rafters and poles,
And
they
climbing
would
up the
play,
rafters.
They would play stickball and climbing up the rafters and everything like that.
Interesting.
He said, "I grew up watching Robin Yount and that whole Brewer team. He was a kid in the rafters watching that."
See, so cool.
So that his going to Milwaukee basically that's him
Going home?
Going home.
And that's a great story for them. The National. I assume we're just going to talk about the National League now, and then we'll talk about the American League in the second half. And it felt for the Rockies having to. It was a bad day. So the Dodgers won, right?
The Dodgers won.
Dodgers won.
Yeah.
But you know what? The Rockies are in it. All they got to
They're
do is
in.
win 4 out of 7. So do the Dodgers.
3 out of 5 to start with.
Yeah. So who do you think's going to win? Who do you think's going to win the National League?
Well, my
championship?
heart is here, but I think that the Braves can't score an average of 2.6 runs a game and win. I think the Dodgers.
Why can't you if you only give up 2.5?
Well, that's a good point, but I think the Dodgers. I just feel the Dodgers are going to beat the Braves. I want the Braves. If the Dodgers win the first two games Atlanta, it's Dodgers in 3. If the Braves win one of the two, I think it could be Braves in 5. That's how I feel for that series.
The Braves come back home, or the Braves got to play 3 in a row?
There's 2 in Atlanta. Is it 2? It's
2-2-1.
2-2-1, right? Yeah. So it's 2 in Atlanta, 2 in LA, and 1 back in Atlanta.
So Atlanta had a better record than LA?
Yeah. Yeah. Atlanta blew the chance to host it all the way through because they didn't win the last weekend of the season. They could have been the host for the National League.
I thought Atlanta was number 3.
I thought Atlanta was number 3. I thought Atlanta's on the road.
You got it right there.
Well, we'll check it out.
Maybe I'm misinformed.
There it is right there. Atlanta at LA.
Atlanta.
Oh, I'm
LA.
wrong.
No,
I'm wrong.
Atlanta was the 3 seed,
The
but
3
they're
seed.
the only one that didn't have to use extra
Right.
pitcher.
I'm wrong then. Dodgers in 4 then, I would say. I think the Braves can win it. I just don't think if you start out in LA, it's going to be
So
tough.
LA will win a game, will clinch it in Atlanta in
Yeah,
game 4.
I think so. I think it'll be 4.
Well, see, here's the thing. Atlanta is only one of 4 teams that have a chance to win it.
Right. Right, exactly.
So all they got to do is
Is
win 1 game,
Yes.
right? Because you
Oh,
can't
I
win
thought
2
Braves were
games
hosting.
until you win 1 game.
So
Right.
who they got going today?
I can't say his name properly. Fulton.
Okay.
Fulton Wakish.
Against
Against Ryu.
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 Ryu's got a sub-2 ERA. I mean, he's going to be tough. It's interesting the Dodgers aren't going to start Kershaw, but they're giving him 1 more day of rest.
They're starting him tomorrow.
No, they
start him
start.
tomorrow.
They're a better team when Kershaw doesn't pitch.
No, when he's not on the roster.
When
I
he's not on
feel
the
like
roster.
an idiot for making that mistake. It's it's going to be tough. I mean,
So that
really-
gives Atlanta a chance.
It gives
Because
them a
Kershaw's on
chance.
the roster.
Yeah, so they can win game 2, but I just don't know. I don't think they hit enough.
How many games do you have to win from right now to win the series? To win
11.
11 wins.
games. Right, 11 wins.
So you got to go 11. You got to win 11 before you lose
First
12.
one to win 11.
Right,
You got to win 11 before you lose 12.
right.
No, before you lose 3 or whether lose 4.
Well, no. If you go all the way to win the last series, you could have lost 3. You could have lost 2, and then you could lose 3.
That's 5,
And
and
8.
then
So
don't
you can
lose
go 11 and 8, you can win it. You can go 11 and 8. But I mean, I
5.
don't.
2,
I just
3,
don't know.
3,
I want the Braves to win. I mean, I'm
It's like
I'm
7-game series, right? 2 7-game series
and a 5 game.
and a 5.
and a 5 game. So that's 14, 19 games.
Right.
If you play every game, sure.
Right. And you only have to win 1 more than you lose in each one of those series.
Right. So you have to go 11 and 8.
Right, 11 and 8. You can do it. It can be done. I think the Braves can win it. I'm hoping they do, but I think it's going to be the Dodgers. I really do.
11 and 8?
2 4 games and 1 3 game. At 8 and 3 is 11.
If
And
you
if
lose
I'm wrong,
on
let me
the, on
know.
the 3 out of 5, you lose 2. The minute you lose that 3rd one, you're toast.
Done.
The minute
You're
you lose
done.
that 4th one, you're toast. And the minute you lose that 4th one, you're
I
toast.
thought- I
so
thought
you
the
can only
Braves were
lose 2,
hosting.
3, and 3. If you lose more,
Right, but you only have to win 3,
4 and 4.
4,
Right.
4 and 4.
Right, that's 11.
Well,
Yeah. I'm not
The
breathing.
11 is definite. The 8 is you could lose 1
Right,
and then
right.
lose 4 and 5 losses and you're
Right.
toast.
So if you lose 2 in the first round, you lose 3.
But I think the Braves can win it. And in the other
This
playoff
is
series,
tremendous math. You guys get
Yeah,
everything.
we're
from
doing it
three
all for you
more
right here. I'm Milwaukee, I think. Oh, well, Colorado. I'll tell you, Colorado. Arenado and Trevor Story.
Our
they're-
boy
I'll tell
Story.
you what, Trevor Story
He
is
had
a
a night.
heck of a story.
He had a
He had a
play.
heck of a season.
Yeah. Yeah. And Arenado and him both get, and we don't get to see him very much on the
No.
East Coast.
Offensively, no. I mean, Story was a story that you came up with. And
3 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, when he was a
and-
rookie.
And look at him.
Look at the guy. Look what we made him into.
Yeah.
He is.
3-ball walk right here. But it's gonna be. I think Milwaukee is a steamroller right now. And Yelich is just on fire.
All right, but here's the
Aguilar
deal,
and all those
okay?
guys.
The adage in baseball holds true. You're only as hot as your next day starter.
True. And that's one thing I told Eddie before
Although
we
I'll
started.
tell you what, and it's something I was
Go
going to
ahead.
touch on. You know, as your starter. These starters now, and we can start with that, and that'll be our transition and everything like that. And you were talking about with the starting pitcher last night for the A's. Actually, the opener.
The opener,
the opener.
opening
That's all they
reliever.
are. Yep.
The opener reliever. And now all the starters. There is every team.
0-1 is on the season, and he starts the biggest game of the season.
But you look at it, all they do is middle relief guys, and we were
Yeah.
talking about it. The Rays doing it, and now half the teams are doing it, and whatever is. You got these guys, and even a starting pitcher. Every team's only got 2 or 3 anyway that they're going to give the ball more than 7 innings. The guy last night, even
For the Yankees?
even Severino.
Severino?
He sat there, he's dealing, and in the 6th inning, he's done. He
Yeah.
puts one guy on, he's done. And that's all they expect. The guy that shocked me was the guy that was beating the Cubs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He's got a one-hitter going and just dealing.
And they yank him.
2 out. What?
And they yank him.
Thank you.
He's got 2 outs, nobody on in the 7th, and they yank him.
And we can talk about this in the next segment because we're done.
We're done with this one.
segment.
We got to go.
So you're not as good as your starting pitcher. It's your pitching staff.
We'll
And
talk
I got
about
something
that.
to say, but yeah, we'll talk about it.
We'll be right back.